Hey guys, and welcome to the Xbox Boomer channel. This is the Xbox Boomer Project, episode 11 that you're watching, and my name is Anthony. So just buckle in, and if you're pooping or peeing or mowing the lawn, cutting the grass, whatever you're doing, this is an audio only show. So if you're not looking for audio only, like a podcast or an audio show, go ahead and click off of this now. That's the point of this video is to throw it on in the background or listen to it on the treadmill, whatever you want to do with it. But today we're talking about another Xbox 360 game. We're talking about 50 Cent Blood on the Sand for the Xbox 360. And so we're just going to get right into it. This is a spoiler-free review or audio show. We're going to talk about everything, from my memories of the game to my experience playing this game here in 2024, to just what I thought about it. So this is, yeah, we're just going to kind of jump in. So here I have the game complete in box right in front of me. So the game, if you've never seen this before, it kind of has, if you never heard of him, his name is 50 Cent, the rapper. And 50 Cent is on the front of the game case, and he's got like a bulletproof vest on. He's got like a couple grenades on him. He's got kind of like a bling bling, kind of tricked out Gucci belt that says 50 on it. And he's staring at the camera like all pissed off. Like he's got a snarky face, and he's wearing like a cool guy, like a baseball cap, and he just looks pissed. And yeah, it's a very bright orange game case. So that's the 50 Cent game we're talking about today. It does have a let's see, it comes with a manual here for you collectors out there, and the manual doesn't really have much of substance in it. It is in black and white as well. If you guys are concerned about that. But like I said, I do have the game complete in box here. I've owned this for probably maybe like a year and a half, I'd say, something like that. And I did not own this game growing up. Um, and we'll get into some of the history of this game and whatnot. But if you're looking for it, I just want to give you an idea of what this game looks like. If you're out there, chasing it at flea markets or out in the wild. So my memories of 50 Cent is basically that back in the day, this is probably the early 2000s. I had a babysitter that would come over and watch me from time to time, and his name was Kenny. And Kenny always brought over a copy of 50 Cent Bulletproof for the original Xbox. And like I said, we're not talking about 50 Cent Bulletproof today, but this is a loose sequel that is based on 50 Cent Bulletproof, which is, like I said, an original Xbox title, a PlayStation 2 title. So that is out there for you guys that are interested in this game. And that's, I mean, seriously, that's like one of the first original Xbox games that I remember playing as a kid. Was, I mean, like regularly playing was 50 Cent Bulletproof. And I remember this nasty ass scene in the game when I was a little kid that really messed me up a little bit. Where 50 Cent takes, I think it was like a pocket knife, and he cuts off like this gangbanger's tattoo off of his arm. And that was like the nastiest thing I had ever seen as a little kid. I remember that was like, "Ugh," like I wanted to puke in my mouth watching that. Um, but yeah, shout out to my babysitter Kenny, who used to play 50 Cent with me, 20 years ago. Um, and then I do remember seeing this game back in the day at GameStop. And this game, we'll talk about it a little later, but this game came out in 2009, and so back then it was probably 2010, something like that. And I was, looking at my local GameStop for something to play. And I remember that this game only costed about 17.99. I remember seeing it on the shelf for that price and picking it up and thinking like, "Oh, this game probably sucks balls." And then I put it back down on the shelf. So that, I did have a chance to buy this back in the day when it was pretty cheap. And I didn't do it, of course. But yeah. And then my last memory of this game specifically, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, is that, probably about 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, we did have an event that I'm nicknaming the Xbox 360 price spike. And basically, when they shut down the Xbox 360 marketplace, in whatever it was, 2023, 2022, and they were getting ready to shut that down because they kind of gave us gamers an advance notice on it. Um, everybody was gobbling up all of these Xbox 360 games, and the price of this damn game went bananas. I mean, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. I literally saw this game sell online for $130 USD. So that's American money. The American green dollar for you foreigners out there. And so this game is highly sought after. And, I mean, I'm not a big channel or anything right now, but I'm telling you guys, in the grand scheme of things, watch this game if this is something you want or something you own, because the price of this long term is gonna shoot through the freaking roof, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, this game, I would not be surprised if this game is a couple $100 after some time passes on the 360. Um, because right now, even, I was going to get into it here in a minute, but this game is still very expensive to buy if you're trying to purchase this secondhand. Um, so when I bought this game, it was right before the Xbox 360 price spike because I started collecting Xbox 360 games, several years ago. So I kind of got in early when the prices were still reasonable. But I still paid, $60 for this game. And I was a little nervous about it when I did. I was thinking like, oh, what if, the prices go down, or what if, maybe this game turns as a flopper, maybe this game sucks. Um, and I'm really glad I did buy it for $60 because it's a hard game to find, especially in good condition. This is one of your holy grails for the Xbox 360. So just know that going in. Um, Now what this game is, like I said, it's really important to know this game is based on 50 Cent the rapper. If you guys, I'd be shocked to know if you guys aren't aware of who 50 Cent is. But back in the early 2000s, he was a very popular rapper here in America. He had a lot of kind of gang banging songs out there, talking about like street life and thug life and stuff like that. I even remember as a gift one year that my cousin got me for Christmas. I had this stupid little toy frog that like you put it up on your dresser or whatever, and you click the toe on the frog, and it sings 50 Cent songs to you. It goes like "Take you to the candy shop, do 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 do," and it plays some of those songs. So he was a popular rapper, and back in the day, kids knew about him, parents hated him. There was a big deal in the early 2000s where he was all over the news because he got shot when he was out doing whatever he was doing. And it was I mean, he was a big public figure, blah blah blah, in the early 2000s. So that's who this game is based off of. It's based on the real life character of 50 Cent, or I think his name might be like Curtis Jackson the Third, I think is his real name. Um, but what this video game is, it is a third person shooter. So there's plenty of violence, plenty of shooting in this game. It is cover based. So it is basically a almost like a clone of Army of Two for the Xbox 360 or Gears of War if you played either one of those two games. It is very, very eerily similar to either one of those games in the gameplay and like the shooting mechanics. Um, like I said, this is a sequel to 50 Cent Bulletproof, but it's not directly tied into the story as far as I could tell, because I do own both games nowadays. Um, but yeah, this is more just a unique storyline based on the 50 Cent license, or the brand. Um, Now, it is a very linear game, so a lot of it is going from mission to mission, chapter to chapter. It's pretty straightforward. There's 9 main missions in the game, and some of these 9 missions have different chapters in them. So, one mission might have 3 chapters, one mission might have 4. So that's something to know. It's a very linear game. And it's not a very long game. I beat this on the hardest difficulty because I typically don't do that nowadays because I'm very limited on the time I have to put into video games nowadays. Um, but this was a shorter game, and I mean I am very experienced with third person shooters on the 360. So I kind of wanted a challenge since it was such a short game, and I want to say I beat this game my first time through on the hardest difficulty in about 6 to 6.5 hours. I want to say I beat it in one sitting. It's hard to remember, but I did beat it here in 2024, and then in the last probably 3 hours or so, I've actually went back today and I've taken another look at the game and played through it. Took some notes and thought about what I wanted to tell you guys about in regards to this game. Um, Now, like I said earlier, it's a very very expensive game. While it's not hovering around the $130 price point anymore, and that is true. Like if you go on pricecharting.com or you look at old eBay sellings or eBay listings, you'll find those ads where people sold the game for 125 or $130. It's hovering right around under $100 US. So maybe like $85, $95, somewhere in there. You can get a complete in-box, really nice copy of this game. But like I said, I mean, be warned, this is your warning. This damn thing's gonna shoot up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this is your warning. Um, Now, one of the main features of this game is that throughout the whole campaign mode, which is pretty much the only game mode in this game, like there's no PvP or multiplayer, nothing like that. Um, you can play the story mode 100%, through in co-op. But the drawback to this game is that, for example, I wanted to play this one day with my wife, sitting on the same couch with two Xbox 360 controllers, and you cannot play split screen co op on 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Even though the case says co op 2 players on the back, um, it's only on Xbox Live. And it didn't seem to me that they shut down the servers. But obviously it's going to be very hard in 2024 to find another person to play this game with unless you're posting online in like forums or you're buying it with another friend. You might be able to play this game on co-op on Xbox Live. There also is a PlayStation 3 version of this game. So if you are a PS3 fan, you can get this on your PS3. And as of 2024, that is the cheaper way to buy and own this game. It's a little bit cheaper. I want to say I haven't looked recently, but I think it's about $40 on the PlayStation 3, $50, something like that. So, maybe half the price. You can get it on PS3. And another thing that people, it seems, are doing in 2024 to get this game a little cheaper is they are buying certain import copies of the game. Because sometimes, you can save 20 or $30 buying like a foreign copy as long as it's from a country that isn't region locked. So you'll definitely, if you're interested in that, you'll have to do your research. Um, but throughout the game, if you are playing the story mode in single player, you do have a partner AI that is following you around the entire game. So you're never going to be alone in this game. And it actually lets you pick which character you want out of 3 different characters for the AI partner. So your choices are all based on, as far as I know, real life rappers. So your first option for your co-op partner, you can choose a guy named Tony Yayo, which I used to joke about that as I was playing this game because it's like, is that like a nickname? Is that like Yayo is in like cocaine? Like Tony Yayo, like the guy likes to put booger sugar in his nose, or what the hell that is? I don't know. Um, there's a guy named Lloyd Banks. I have no idea who that is, other than he's in the first 50 Cent game. And then there's actually a third character called DJ Woo Kid. I have no idea who the hell half of these people are. Like I said, I'm assuming they're rappers from the early 2000s or mid 2000s, real life people. But the only thing it really changes in the gameplay is some of like the ambient dialogue during the some of the missions. And I will say I swapped between the characters quite a bit as I was replaying the missions. And out of all of them, the DJ Woo Kid character, I really had some setbacks with because some of the dialogue from the voice actor, it actually hurt my ears. I mean, I'm not even being funny. Like he has a very scratchy voice. I mean, he sounds kind of like a hyena, and it hurt my damn ears, and it wasn't pleasant to really listen to. So I will warn you of that. I want to say I played most of the game with Tony Yayo as my co-op partner when I beat it all the way through. Now, like I said, there's several difficulty section or selections in this game. So there's easy mode, which I spent zero time playing. Okay, if you're like a little kid playing this game, if you somehow stumbled across this, I would say easy mode's probably for you. There's normal difficulty, which is what I played today when I replayed the game quite a bit. And I will say, normal difficulty for me, and I'm a veteran Xbox 360 player. I've been playing this stuff since it launched. And the normal difficulty I could breeze right through. I mean, it was not giving me any troubles. I was sitting there sneezing on all the characters. I was wiping my butthole with them. No problems. So if you're just trying to run through the game and you have any competency with a 360 controller, I would say normal difficulty is, it's going to be pretty easy still. It's going to be like a Call of Duty campaign, playing it on regular difficulty. Um, but when I did play the hard mode, um, that was a challenge. I got my ass handed to me in a shoebox. I mean, over and over and over again. I got some really cheap deaths, some really random, one tap deaths on 50 Cent. And it was actually hard. And we'll get into that a little bit. But on hard difficulty, you're really going to have to buy the better weapons as soon as you can get the money to, and to ensure that you're, doing some damage on the enemy. And even if you have the better weapons in the game, all of the enemies are going to be, bullet sponges. And this difficulty can really, really make you mad. So just, I mean, no, that's an option. I mean, even though it's a short game, you're going to be struggling a little bit during those, 6 hours and some change. But yeah, that's what I finished the whole game on. And if you do go to my channel, I do have a video uploaded that's kind of a meme, and it's called I want to say right now I named it 50 cents balls on the sand, and which little controversial name for a video. But all that footage of the cheap deaths and the one-click deaths, all of that was captured on the hard difficulty of the game. So that'll give you an idea of kind of some of the BS that you're gonna experience. Um, Now the beginning of the game starts that 50 Cent, the rapper. That's your main character that you're always gonna play as. That's the only character, unless you're playing the co-op mode in Xbox Live, you're always gonna be playing as 50 Cent. Um, and he's gonna be playing a concert somewhere in the Middle East. Okay, so you're watching this cutscene, and 50 Cent's jamming out, singing the songs, yeah, money, 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 whatever. And that's an actual song of his. I'm not making that up. Um, but so he finishes this concert and he goes to this let's call him a manager. He goes, back behind the curtains of the concert after he's done playing, and he's like, "Hey, bro, where's my money?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't got your money." So 50 Cent and his gangbangers, they're like holding guns on him. They're like, "Yo, where's my money?" And he says, "Well, 50 Cent, I can't pay you in money, but what I can pay you in is this diamond encrusted skull that I have hidden in a safe in my, back room." So he goes and gets this diamond encrusted skull, which looks eerily similar to the crystal skull from like the fourth Indiana Jones movie. And Yeah, he pays 50 Cent in this trinket that he has, hiding behind his his desk in the safe. And when 50 Cent is driving away from the concert, and like I said, this is the very beginning of the game, so no spoilers or nothing like that. Um, his Jeep actually gets ambushed, and a group of, the local militia actually steal his skull from him in the middle of a firefight. So the whole point of this game is basically just 50 Cent running around the Middle East. It's like, Iraq or Afghanistan, somewhere like that, somewhere with a lot of sand and a lot of like rundown buildings. And 50 Cent is just tracking people down and screaming at them and going, "Where's my skull, bitch?" And that's like the whole game. I mean, the storyline is very weak on this game. Very, very weak. There's not much substance, so don't look for a story-rich game on this. This is kind of like a meme game just to be funny. Or if you like third-person shooters and want something different, if you've already beaten all of like the Army of Two games, all of the Gears of War games, you've already played Dark Sector and some of those games, Shadows of the Damned. This is another game for you to play like that. But just don't depend heavily on the story because it's just 50 Cent running around the Middle East shooting dudes with AKs saying, "Where's my skull?" That's the whole game. Okay. Um, Now, like I said, this game released in 2009, and it actually came out in February of 2009. So that was like peak of the Great Recession during the housing market crisis here in America, where everybody was piss ass broke. And just to give you an idea of some of the games you can compare this with, during that time frame of 2009, we had games coming out like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, okay? We had Resident Evil 5 that came out that year, another great co-op game, another third-person shooter. Even in the third-person shooter department, we had Uncharted 2, which was a phenomenal PlayStation 3 exclusive. And I believe even Assassin's Creed 2 came out in 2009. So there were quite a bit of banger games. So I think that led to some of the the problems competing for this game in the game market at the time. Um, Now I did do some research on this game, and it was developed by a lesser known studio. So this game was actually developed by a studio called Swordfish Studios. And I had, until playing this game and doing research, I had never ever heard of these people. I never knew what games they made or what they worked on. So I started looking into like, oh, what is their specialty? Like, what kind of games did Swordfish Studios make before they worked on Blood on the Sand? And what I came up with is that they they actually didn't work on almost anything before they made 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Um, so they worked on World Championship Rugby for the original Xbox. So that's probably a game that a lot of people didn't play. I can't say I've ever heard of it. And us Americans, we don't even play rugby, so we don't even really care about that game. Um, and then they also worked on a game called Brian Laura International Cricket 2005. So once I found out they were just working on a lot of cricket games and a lot of rugby games for the original Xbox, I kind of asked myself, I was like, what the hell happened here? Because it's not a, there's no wonder why this game flopped back in the day. This game, I mean, it's no secret, this game did not sell well. And, I can't say that, it was really received great either. And even in now, modern times, I mean, there's a lot of mixed reception for this game. Um, it was published by the company THQ. Okay, so THQ, I think they worked on quite a bit of games back in the day. That was a pretty well known company, back in 2009, 2010. But a fun fact to consider with 50 Cent Blood on the Sand is that 3 years later, after 50 Cent Blood on the Sand came out, THQ actually filed for bankruptcy in 2012. So I'm not saying that THQ went bankrupt because of 50 Cent Blood on the Sand coming out. But like I said, this game did not sell well back in 2009. And this game, I guarantee you, definitely did not help THQ stay in business. Um, because like I said, back in the day, THQ, they had a logo that was on a ton of Xbox 360 games, and they were a pretty well respected publisher. And unfortunately, they're not around anymore. So, this, I mean, very well could have been one of the factors playing into that. Just 3 years before they went out of business. Um, so 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, for you tech nerds, it runs on the Unreal Engine 3. So that was back in the day, that was a very popular game engine that a lot of games used as their foundation. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nowadays I think it's like Unreal 5, Unreal Engine 5, I want to say, something like that. Um but yeah, this game had a pretty popular engine for its time that it was designed on. Um, Now this game does have, like I said, it's third person shooter. And there's plenty of gameplay mechanics that you're all already going to be familiar with from other games. So this game, like I said, you're running around in the Middle East trying to get this damn, crystal skull back with all these diamonds in it, and get paid for your concert. And you're gonna run into a lot of the local like militia members, and they're gonna be random dudes running around in colored shirts with AK-47s and other weapons. And they're pretty much you're gonna fight a lot of people in bright blue shirts, bright yellow shirts, bright red shirts. I don't know what the hell why they're in such bright clothing, but almost all of your enemies are gonna be in the just like ridiculous like workout attire. Um, and the shooting, you're gonna have a like a little white circle crosshair in the middle of your screen, and you can blind fire. So if you hit the right trigger, this is on the 360 version. 50 Cent will shoot his gun, and you can just walk around and shoot dudes without aiming too much or putting too much thought into it. But to get those accurate shots, there is kind of like a zoom feature, which would serve as like an aim down sights mechanic. So you just hold your left trigger like many other shooting games, and 50 Cent's crosshair is going to kind of zoom in, and you'll be able to get more accurate shots with whatever gun you're using. Um, there's a variety of different weapons in this game. So you do have, just like Army of Two, you're going to have 4 weapon slots. And each one of those slots is going to hold a different category of weapon. So if you hit the up arrow, you're going to get access to, whatever pistol you select for 50 Cent to have. So there's anything from like a suppressed pistol in the game to like a knockoff of a Colt 1911. There's going to be, let me think, dual Desert Eagles you can get in this game. And they all have generic names to avoid copyrights. So, it's not going to say actually like Colt 1911. It's going to say, I think like one of the cheeseball names they gave to one of the guns is like the Cole 911. So they don't use actual like licensed gun names in this game. But I'm just generally telling you, what's in the game. Um, so you hit your up arrow, you can get your there's like a revolver in the game that's pretty good. That's one of the later weapons you unlock. And your pistol is always going to have infinite ammo. So you'll have to reload it when your magazine runs dry. But you're always going to have infinite ammo for the handguns in the game. You hit the right arrow, and I believe the right arrow is I want to say that's the like the rifles in the game. So there's a lot of fully automatic assault rifles in the game. So there's like a Scar assault rifle. There's a it's almost like a Heckler and Koch like a G36 in the game. There's of course an M4, a fully automatic suppressed M4. And that's a pretty good gun you can get fairly early on. There's an AK-47, which is what 50 Cent's gonna start off with. You can hit the down arrow, and that's gonna be your special weapons. So special weapons in this game are typically anything explosive related, and anything that's like a scoped rifle. If you want to call it like a sniper rifle, quote unquote. If you're not really a gun guy, you'll probably call something like that a sniper rifle. Um, But yeah, so you're gonna have there's like an SVD style rifle with a scope in this game. There's like almost like an AWP from Counter Strike. Like a L96 type of thing. I don't know what you'd call it, like a translative name for it. And then also, you're gonna have things like an RPG in the game. There's a grenade launcher, and those are pretty good weapons that you can use in a pinch. And then if you hit the left arrow, that's going to be your, if you want to call it like your secondary weapons. So you can use anything in that slot, as in like shotguns or submachine guns. So there's a variety of those as well in the game. Like, there's like a TMP, a suppressed TMP submachine gun. A lot of like pump action shotguns in the game. And different weapons you can choose based on what you have unlocked at the time. Um, Now, there are several different grenade types in the game, and the grenades are pretty powerful. So, especially on the harder difficulties, you're going to want to utilize those to get past some of the harder sections. So there's, standard frag grenades in the game. There's sticky grenades, and there's even Molotov cocktails, just to name a few of them. And those are activated, I believe, by clicking the right bumper. And 50 Cent usually says something cocky like, eat a grenade, bitch, or something crazy. I mean, he's always swearing in this game. And I can't remember what the button is, but there is a button to taunt in this game. And I can't remember what button is. It might be one of the thumbsticks or something. But if you press that, 50 Cent actually will sit there and swear at the enemy. And you can customize all those taunts based on what you have unlocked. So that's kind of weird for like a shooting game. Um, Kind of similar to the mechanic that Scarface: The World Is Yours has for the original Xbox and the PS2. If you've ever played that game, how there's a taunt button. Um, Now, like I said, you're not gonna have a infinite ammo magazine, unlimited capacity. You are gonna have to reload. It's like a lot of your standard shooting games. So you just reload with the X button. And then there is also a dodge rolling mechanic with the A button. So if you click the A button, it's very similar to Gears of War in the sense that you can roll to avoid like a RPG round, or you can dodge roll to avoid like a group of enemies and get behind cover. And then along with that, there is also a cover mechanic, because this is a cover based shooter. So you go up to a piece of cover. So if it's like a let's say a brick wall, you tap the A button when you're prompted, and 50 Cent will put his back against the wall. And it's very similar to like how the game Kill Switch works on like the original Xbox and the PS2, where it's very hard for 50 Cent to take hits and take damage when he's behind cover. But when you're ready, you can pop out and take a couple shots at your enemy. So it's a lot safer way to kind of shoot at your enemies. Um, but yeah, and then I guess the last thing as far as gameplay mechanics, is there are melee attacks in this game. But there's not necessarily like a pre-assigned melee button. It's going to be quick time events. So once you get to let's say like a close enough distance to your enemy, it's gonna prompt you to press the B button. And once you press the B button, it's gonna kind of enter like a mini cutscene where like the enemy is kind of squaring up in a fight with 50 Cent. And if you press the B button again 3 times, the correct timing, because like I said, it's like a quick time event, blah blah, like a button presser. 50 Cent is actually gonna hit that enemy 3 times, and he'll be instantly killed. Um, but if you fail, the quick time event, let's say you hit the B button a little bit too soon, it's gonna exit out of the quick time event, and 50 Cent's probably gonna get slapped in the face by the enemy. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to do melee attacks. I don't know that it's a great way to do it, but it's definitely unique. I'll say that. Um, Now there are several different vehicle sections in this game. And so we'll talk about the Humvee sections first. There's a couple Humvee sections where you are driving, and I assume if you're playing this on Xbox Live, player two would be shooting in the turret, because there is a machine gun mounted on the top of the Humvee. And while you're driving around in this Jeep, typically it's very linear and straightforward, like some kind of like racing game. And you're just gonna be driving from point A to point B, trying not to get the Humvee blown up. And so your AI partner is gonna be shooting out of the turret, and there's typically gonna be several, enemy trucks with machine gunners on them as well. Ramming into 50 Cent, trying to get your truck to blow up. And you'll just want to ram them back and kind of get to where you need to go. And they're not too hard. Even on the harder difficulties, I don't know that I failed any of the Humvee sections. So I don't think you'll have many problems with that. Um, Now through the game, how 50 Cent gets ammo, typically you're gonna see quite a bit of ammo boxes that have kind of like a colored ring around them, and you basically walk over these ammo boxes. It's gonna refill your different types of ammunition based on what color the box is. And there's plenty of ammo in some sections of this game. But as you get deeper and deeper into the game on those harder difficulties, the enemies get, more spongy as you go on and they take more shots. So there were a lot of parts of this game on hard where I found myself running out of ammo constantly, and I'm running around with a crappy little pistol, trying to shoot these guys in the head. And it was really not fun. So I will tell you that. Um, Now there are I mentioned there's several weapons in this game already. And how you get those different weapons is you're gonna go to the stores that are located in the game. So a lot of these stores they're kind of disguised and displayed as phone booths. And so you'll go up to this ringing phone booth in the middle of like a battle environment or like a city street, and you'll click the A button, and it'll pull up menus where you can buy different weapons. You can buy taunts. So like I said, 50 Cent randomly spews just different garbage out of his mouth, like, yo bitch, try this. And during those sections, if you buy different taunts, it will change the different swear words that he says in the middle of a firefight. um, and then there's also a menu that is for buying counter kills in the game, and the counter kills are just your melee attacks. Basically, it's going to change the little cutscene that plays out when you decide to do a melee attack on an enemy. And these are not really too important, so I really never bought too many of them as I was playing through the game. But if you are an achievement hunter, there are plenty of achievements or trophies if you're a PlayStation guy for buying everything in the game. So just know that. There are several collectibles in this game, so that's another thing you can get some in-game money for, and some achievements. So there's several posters you're gonna find in each mission, and they're just posters of random people, that are kind of like plastered on the walls as you're going through the levels. And you just walk up to them. They have like a glowing green like shine to them, so that you'll be able to find them. And you just hit the A button, and then 50 Cent will collect those posters. And like I said, sometimes they're pictures of like 50 Cent, sometimes it's pictures of a random woman or a random dude with like a ski mask on. So it's really, really random. There's not really much incentive to go get those. The other collectible that there is these little bullseye targets. So in each mission, unless it's like a vehicle mission, you'll find plenty of these bullseyes that are like they're like little wooden bullseye circles, like targets that are hung in random places around the level. And you just shoot them once with any gun that you have, and they'll be destroyed. And it'll give you a little bit of in-game money, and then also go towards your collectible count in the game. um Now, with this being a 50 Cent game, I don't know if you guys personally like rap music, but for me, Even though I grew up with a stepbrother who was like obsessed with freaking Eminem and 50 Cent, um, I am not partial to listening to like gangbanger music and some of that stuff nowadays. Um, but you better enjoy 50 Cent music in this damn game because that's all you're going to be listening to through this entire game. And I'm going to spoil it for you. When I beat this game for the first time, my music player in the game, because when you go to the pause menu, there's an option that says music player where you can change the different songs that are going to play through as you play the game. My music player was glitched and I couldn't change any of the songs that were playing as I played the game. And so I don't know if you have to beat the game before you can change the songs or what the deal is. But I swear to you, as I played through this game for the first time, I could not change the music. And it was the same like 4 or 5 songs playing, like 50 Cent songs, rap music, while I played the game, and it got freaking annoying fast. I mean, it was annoying. It was pissing my wife off. My wife, a spoiler alert, my wife hates this damn game. My wife might shoot me in the ass with a 22 if I put this game in my Xbox again. Because every time I play this game, all that comes through the stupid TV is that stupid rap song going, get money, 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 and it never stops. Like it never ever stops the whole time you're playing this damn game. And I finally, like I said, I played this game today for about 3 hours, and the music player finally worked a little bit where I could select, like, oh, I don't want to listen to the money song for the 15th time. I want to listen to Candy Shop. I want to listen to I take you to the candy shop. Do, 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 do. And you better like there's no other noises that you're gonna hear in this game aside from the gunshots and the 50 Cent music. And a lot of the more popular 50 Cent songs, like the one like, do 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 do, the little pimp song, you don't unlock that stuff till you get to the end of the game. So, I mean, if you're just playing this for the first time, you're gonna hear the same like 5 50 Cent songs, um, you know, over and over, and they are foul. I mean, I know some of you guys, I don't know what your, thoughts are and whatever on the world or whatnot, your worldview, but I mean, it's one thing to say something out of aggression or say a bad word or two out of making a point, but I ain't gonna listen to all day long for 6 hours. Fuck that motherfucker. Fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck you. I mean, it never stops in this fucking game. Fucking 50 Cent. Fucking fuck. He says fuck every other sentence. It's obnoxious. It is like I said, it's one thing if it was intentionally designed for a cutscene, it was like a heightened moment in the game, or they were making a point, or something. But I mean, some of this music. I mean, I like I said, I wasn't a 50 Cent fan or fiend before I played this game, and I didn't know how bad some of these lyrics were until I played this game. So I mean, if you have a kid brother or whatever, and you're thinking like, oh, we might play this little like cool co-op game together or whatever for fun, you should think about that before you play that game with them, because it's not just like, I mean, sure, if you play Gears of War with your kid brother, there's lots of shooting and blood and guts, but they aren't saying the F bomb every damn second of every minute. Um, so that's why I say this is like a meme game, because this guy, I mean, they're talking about everything under the sun. I mean, I can't express that enough. And you're gonna get real tired, like I said, of hearing those same 5 songs. You're gonna hear them in the main menu. You're gonna hear them in the gameplay. You're gonna hear them in the cutscenes. The songs just never stop playing. So I can't express that enough. Um, whatever. Now in the gameplay, there is a scoring system. So if you like arcade shooters, that might be a selling point for you. Me personally, I think the game would have been better off as just a gameplay focused game where there is no scoring system or point system. But every time, you kill an enemy or blow something up, it's gonna say like, "Oh, plus 100 points," and then it's gonna like tally up in the corner of your screen, and then it's gonna kind of like tally up at the end of the mission. Um, I mean, I've played some games that do like a scoring system. Okay, like Resident Evil 5 had a very like incognito, very good scoring system, where you get a ranking at the end of each mission. But 50 Cent Blood on the Sand was very in your face about it. And as far as I know, there's no way to shut like the scoring system off. And it became really annoying because, I think they set this game up to have a scoring system because they want you to keep replaying it and getting better scores on the missions. Well, I knew from day one I wasn't going to play this game, 5, 6 times. I was going to run through it once and put it back on my shelf. I just wanted to watch the cutscenes and see the end of the game. Um, so it was really annoying that the point system, like whatever I did in the game, it just wouldn't go away. So that is something I will tell you was a turnoff about this game for me. Um, Now in cahoots with the scoring system, there is another set of numbers on your screen pretty much all the time, and that's going to be the money system in the game. So when you kill enemies, when you break open crates, when you get collectibles, or when you complete missions, you're gonna get money in different varying amounts for doing these different things, and that's what you use to shop in the in-game store with. So that'll buy you those counter kills, those taunts, and oh, excuse me, some of those different weapons. Oh man, I'm always dying. My throat's always dying when I make these videos. Um, so anyways, you're gonna come across plenty of money in this game. But if you do want to unlock everything in the store and get those achievements or trophies for doing that, you will have to play the game several times. Which definitely, if you don't end up liking this game, it can turn into a chore fast. Um, Now I did want to touch on what I call, excuse me, some of these danger sequences in the game, because this is another complaint that I had about Blood on the Sand. Um, so it's very, very often in this game, I mean, once every couple minutes, that you're gonna hear an alarm bell. You're gonna hear, and it's gonna just be loud and very apparent, through the sound of your TV or your monitor, and you're gonna be looking around your house like, "What the hell? Do I have an alarm on my phone going off? Did I forget my iPhone in the bathroom? Like, what the hell is going on?" And what these danger noises or these alarm bells are is that it's gonna flash, on your screen in red. It's gonna say "danger" in all caps and all red, and you're gonna hear that, and basically, like, the game cheats for you. It lets you know when the enemies are going to spawn into the level as you're playing through the level, and where they are going to spawn at. And so, before the enemies even, let's say, like open up a door or a window and come attack you, you're going to hear the noise like 5 seconds ahead of time. You're going to hear, and it's going to point you to where the enemies are coming from. So, I mean, there were sections where dudes had not even fully loaded in yet. They didn't even know where they were at, when they ran through the door. And I was mowing them down with a light machine gun before they even came into existence. I mean, I freaking killed them at birth. And I thought that was just a horrible design choice for a game. And while I'm thinking about it, I don't think I remembered to tell you guys yet, but going back to Swordfish Studios, a fun fact I found about Blood on the Sand that goes into some of the design choices is that Swordfish Studios originally did not design this game to be a 50 cent game. This game was generally, before it became a 50 cent title, it was designed as a generic third person military shooter in the Middle East. Probably because of a lot of the, Middle East wars that the US was involved in at the time. And somewhere in development, Vivendi Studios or Vivendi Interactive, I don't know exactly what the name of their studio is or whatever. but that company acquired the license to 50 Cent because they helped with the 50 Cent Bulletproof game the on their original Xbox. So they were able to acquire the license to use 50 Cent in a video game, and they were lazy about it. They just slapped that shit together on something they were already working on, and that's why, personally, in my own beliefs, and I haven't interviewed any of the developers or anything, but of course I would love to if I was ever given the chance to. Um, that's why this game, in some aspects, seems so random with like the danger noises and the scoring and the like just randomness of 50 Cent shooting guys in the Middle East, because it was never designed to be a 50 Cent game. This was designed to be a unique, like random modern military shooter, and they just slapped 50 Cent's face on the cover and called it a day. So that's probably why we get some of these random things like danger noises in a 50 Cent game, an alarm clock noise. Um, so that's pretty interesting. Just something to know. And I'm just gonna stress again, this game is very vulgar, so it's got lots of swearing, lots of, um, just different obscenities in this game. So if you are a younger viewer or you're playing this in front of mom and dad or, in a Christian household or something, you should probably be aware of that before you buy this. So yeah. Um, Now with the Y button, one more mechanic I should tell you about in the gameplay. There is a slow time mechanic that charges up as you play the game. So as you're running around, you have a bar. I believe it's under your health bar, I want to say, in the corner of the game screen. And when that bar is partially filled up, you can press the Y button, and for a short time, about, I want to say, if it's charged up all the way, it's about 15 to 20 seconds of charge. You can slow time, and 50 Cent can get a lot of good shots in on his enemies. Um, so that is a very Max Payne style, like a kind of like a bullet time or slow time feature. Or if you've played Fear 3 on the Xbox 360, it's kind of like that, where the main character of that guy or that game is called Point Man, and he can slow time every few minutes. So that is kind of a strange mechanic, but it does come in handy on those harder difficulties. Um, Now, there are bonus challenges. Talking about going back to the arcade style of this game. So sometimes when you're running around in firefights, it'll say, it'll pop up on the top left-hand corner of the screen, like, quick, in the next 20 seconds, kill 2 snipers. And if you manage to find 2 enemies that have sniper rifles and you kill them in the next 20 seconds, the game will give you a reward of some kind. So it'll either give you like 2 more grenades in your inventory, or it'll give you like some exploding ammo. The rewards kind of vary from, like bonus challenge to bonus challenge. But that is another feature to this game, is that there's a lot of stuff just popping up on your screen, kind of annoying you as you're trying to go through this game and go level to level. Um, Now another complaint that I have that's a minor one, but it's still there, is that and again, this stays true to the arcadey nature of this game. Almost all of the enemies, while you're in the middle of firefights, they have a glowing red aura around them. So like they are almost outlined in like a bright red silhouette. So as you're running around the levels, you're almost always gonna know where you're being shot from, and where the enemy is hiding behind. And for me, even though that makes the game a little funner, it makes it kind of boring because you're just running around holding the right trigger, sloshing dudes, pooping on them. There's no like mystery. There's no like, oh, I'm getting shot. Where's he hiding at? There's none of that. Like you're always gonna know where you're being shot from. Where the enemy's hiding. Like I said previously, they're all wearing really bright clothing that looks like neon workout gear. um, so that kind of was a drawback for me, I will say. And then this isn't really a spoiler, but I have to tell you because I think it's very important. There are several boss fights in this game. I don't know the exact number. but it's a handful of them. Okay, so you're gonna get the different set pieces in the game where you're gonna meet a character and you're gonna have a boss fight. Okay, I'm not kidding you. They were so lazy in the creation of this game. All of the boss fights are the exact same. They are the exact same boss. I'm not going to tell you what that boss is. I thought about it. I was very close to telling you what that boss is. Um but no matter what the different character is that you're meeting or facing or interacting with in those boss fights, and this stays true all the way until the very end of the game, they are the exact same. I mean, they look identical, they play identical, they are defeated the same way. It is so boring and unoriginal and doesn't have anything at all to do with 50 Cent or anything with rappers or anything of the theme of this game. It was just so disappointing. And even though they are copy paste, I will say some of the boss fights in this game give you some very cheap deaths on hard difficulty. I mean, the difference between playing on normal and playing on hard difficulty is stark. I mean, you're gonna have a very easy day, beating this on normal and washing your hands of it and just being done with it. But the hard difficulty was a pain in the ass because of bullet sponge enemies and just very cheap one tap deaths. So definitely consider that when you're choosing your difficulty. Um, Now you are going to get to a section where 50 Cent can interact with some different vehicles and things. So I did tell you there are a couple Humvee sections in the game. There's also going to be different turret segments of the game. So you're going to see, interactable turrets while you're running around the environments. And sometimes you can press the A button to use those and, use them against the enemies. Different machine guns that are mounted. And there's also an entire level of the game where you are going to be on a helicopter using a turret as like a gunner out of like the door of the helicopter. And that was a very nice change of pace for this game. So I do give them a thumbs up on the turret gunner level. That was a very nice little challenge, and I think you might enjoy that segment of the game. Um, Now I do want to just reiterate that the enemies, as you get deeper into this game, because like I said, it's 9 missions long. As you get to some of those later missions, the enemies get significantly tougher. Like significantly. Like if you are using the same gear from the beginning of the game, at the end of the game, you're gonna have a miserable time. Okay. It's just not going to work out for you. So I would say it's almost mandatory to upgrade all of your weapons, to buy new weapons. There is no upgrading mechanic. You have to buy brand new weapons and select them. And of course, the better weapons in the game are more and more expensive. So you have to really save up your money and manage that money as you play. Um, Now the graphics of this game, um, they are better. They are significantly better than 50 Cent Bulletproof, okay? But there was a 4-year gap in between 50 Cent Bulletproof for the original Xbox and 50 Cent Blood on the Sand for the 360. Um, so they are tolerable, okay? This definitely does not look like a entry level, first year Xbox 360 game. This is kind of in the middle of the Xbox 360's lifespan. So like I said, this game is, at least as far as the gameplay and the prettiness is concerned, it is more than playable. Okay, the characters move fairly smoothly. The graphics don't look like a Nintendo 64 game. I mean, they look. This is the gold standard. This is what you pretty much expect out of a 2009 Xbox 360 or PS3 game. So if you were around in that era, you're gonna be able to chomp on this and swallow it, easily. It's not gonna burden you as far as the game's looks. The dialogue, There is quite a bit of dialogue and cutscenes in the game. A lot of them, like I said, just because of the vulgarity, they are pretty ridiculous. So I wouldn't take this game too seriously. I mean, I'd grab some popcorn and just throw this on for the hell of it to get some giggles. Um, but there is a lot of ambient dialogue that is repeated as you play this game. So like when I selected Tony Yayo as my co-op partner when I played through this the first time, and this is in that 50 Cent video that I have on my channel. Um, Over and over again, every 5 minutes or so, I randomly would hear one of the characters yell, and they would go, "Lay down, lay down, lay down!" And dude, I have no idea who the hell is saying that. I have no idea why they're saying that. But over and over again, the dialogue as you're fighting and you're battling the enemies, it just repeats. And sometimes, like if you activate two segments of dialogue at the same time by like, let's say, you're shooting at a character and he starts saying something, and then you do something else, like break a crate open while that character's talking, it'll activate two different lines of dialogue for the same character. So the same person can be talking twice at the same time. So the dialogue is this very glitchy and unstable, and it's very foul. There's a lot of swear words in it. And it's just a total meme. And like I said, don't pick that DJ Woo Kid. For your AI character because the scratchy voice will make your ears bleed. Um, Now the storyline, like I said, it's very surface level. Do not buy this game for the story. I guarantee you, you will not be happy with it. Um, I said spoilers aside, not saying anything about the end of the game or nothing, but you will not be satisfied by this game ending. The game pretty much abruptly ends out of nowhere after you've been shooting dudes for 6 hours. And I remember when I spent my one day of the weekend that I had to play games playing this, I beat the game and then the credits roll, it plays like the the pimp song, and I just thought, I was like, "What the hell was that?" Like, that's how you ended the game? What? I mean, there was no closure. There definitely ain't, they ain't making a sequel to this game anytime soon. I guarantee you that. I'd be shocked. I'd drop marbles out of my mouth and my pants if they made a third 50 Cent game. I'd be, spitting up frickin' bricks. Um, but yeah, this game was not satisfying to go through the story, um, or just see the ending. I mean, it's just it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't say. I mean, I don't know about you, but even just looking at this game on the shelf from the cover art, you shouldn't be expecting much from a 50 cent video game, anyways. I mean, you should know what you're getting. This is not a AAA game, by any standards. Um, Now, like I said, some of those arcadey features to this game, um, they do try to encourage you to replay the linear story mode to get better scores and to earn more money and to get all those achievements. Um, but you're really only gonna replay this game if you haven't played this in a long time, like 15 years or something like that. So if you played this back in your childhood, it might be time to play this one more time just for the hell of it, because it's a very short game. Um, but the only other reason you would replay it is to get all the achievements. If you were like an achievement hunter or a trophy hunter on the Xbox 360 or the PS3, which nowadays I don't have time to achievement hunt. I don't even bother. I just play my games for the story and the enjoyment. Um, so yeah, that's the only reason you would replay this game. Because, like I said, there's no other features or settings or anything. It's just play the story mode, and that's it. That's all you got. So I guess just wrapping up, would I recommend this game to you? That's a loaded question because, I don't think this is a horrible game. Okay. I have mixed feelings on it as well, like a lot of reviewers, because the gameplay was not bad. Like I could see, is just like back in the day for 2009 standards. If you had played all the Gears of War 2 that, you wanted to, if you were looking for a game on Xbox Live with you and your buddy, you could probably hop on this and run through it and have some fun with it. I mean, it's very similar to like a Kane and Lynch type of like co-op experience on the 360. So you could probably get some giggles and have some fun and mess with your co-op teammate. But nowadays, I mean, that's back when the game was 17.99. If this was like a $10 game, American dollars, $10 or $15, I would probably tell you to pick this one up. I'd probably say, yeah, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand is a fun little game, short game. Run through it and tell me what you thought. But this game is not $10 or $15 anymore. Like I said, this game at one point, just like a year and a half ago, it was going for 125, $130. This is a damn holy grail for some reason. And a lot of the holy grail status, by the way, it comes because, as far as I understand, this game had a large amount of licensed 50 Cent music on the game disc. And this is not backwards compatible because or excuse me, not backwards compatible. This is not available to be purchased on the Xbox store. That's what I meant to say. Because of the licensed music. So the only way you can get this game nowadays is to buy it on disc. Okay? And I don't think it is backwards compatible, by the way. I'd have to check. But I think a lot of the controversy of the pricing of this game being so expensive um is mainly a lot of people cite it as being since you can't buy this game digitally anymore, on the 360 or on the Xbox One, the Series X, this is the only way to play this game aside from getting, an RGH Xbox 360. Um, which for anybody looking to play this, I would absolutely recommend you look into a way to get this game for free. As in, like, you get your modded Xbox 360, you download it on the internet, slap it on your hard drive, and you run through it. I think that's the best way for the average man to play this game and to own it because the economy's been trashed the last couple years. People don't have $130 to spend on a damn Xbox game. Um, but with that being said, for you collectors out there, I mean, I do feel kind of like a cool guy, top G, having this in my game collection. It's not a game that a lot of people have. It's like owning like Fatal Frame or something like that. It's kind of like a showpiece in a way. Um, but yeah, I think the price is declining just a little bit. Cause like I said, I think for probably about 80 to 90, $95 somewhere in there, you could have a very nice copy of this game in 2024. But yeah, so I guess to wrap up, if you're getting this game for free or borrowing it from a friend, or you already have it, I would say absolutely. I would recommend this game. Just run it through one time. If you're okay with the vulgarities and the glitches and the cheap deaths, run through it one time to say you did it and, have it under your belt. Um, but if you're looking in 2024 to go out and pay $85 for this game for a North American copy, or you're looking to buy this in 2028 and the damn game's $230, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say unless you're like a hardcore 360 collector like me, stay away from this one, man. Cause it's just too damn expensive for what's there for like 5 or 6 and a half hours of gameplay. A very linear game, a very low quality game that wasn't even designed to be a 50 cent title. Don't waste your money. If you're looking for a third person shooter, a unique one, um, there's much cheaper options out there. Start with your Gears of War games on the 360. Run through those. If you've done that, look into weirdo stuff like Dark Sector. That's still a pretty cheap 360 game, third person shooter. Um, there's a lot of third person shooters on the Xbox 360. And I don't think you have to have this game or have to play this to say that you played the best third person shooter. Um, Okay. Well, I think that's all I got on this one. If you guys have any stories you'd like to share about this game, or any thoughts, you can throw them down in the comments. Thank you for listening to me blab. I appreciate it, and God bless you and your family. Have a great day.